Good day, everyone. I am Fritz Gerald Earl Longakit, taking a Bachelor of Secondary Education major in Mathematics in Kapalong College of Agriculture, Sciences and Technology. In this video, I will discuss the basic concept on special and inclusive education. So let's get started. Teachers are critical to students' academic achievement. They have a profound and long-lasting influence on all of their students. They can also have a significant impact on students' life. Teachers have ability to mold and shape a student's personality as well as their future. With the Philippine government's current reforms in inclusive curriculum, as outlined in Department of Education Order or DO number 21 series of 2019 and in teachers quality as outlined in the National Adoption and Implementation of the Philippine Teacher Quality Standards DO 42 series of 2017 or Professional Standards for Teachers PPST. Educators are now expected to play a key role in implementation of inclusive education. In order for inclusion to have a positive impact, the learning environment and instructional models must be carefully developed to ensure that all children have access to high quality learning opportunities. Teachers will be evaluated based on the set of standards of the seven domains of PPST. The third is devoted to diversity of learners with an emphasis on primary role of teachers in creating environment that are essential to learners' diversity. It includes the following: learners' gender, needs, strength, interest, and experiences. Learners' linguistics, cultural, socio-economical, and religious backgrounds. Learners with disabilities and giftedness and talents. Learners in difficult circumstances, and learners from indigenous groups. Later in this video, I will introduce you to the terms like disabilities and inclusive education which will help to build a more inclusive classroom for students with disabilities, giftedness, and talent. Also, I will differentiate the integrate the special education to inclusive education. Let us now define the two terms first: special education and inclusion. According to the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, also known as UNESCO, inclusive education, or IE, is about putting the right to education into action by including all learners, respecting their diverse needs and abilities and characteristics, and eliminating all forms of discrimination in learning environment. Inclusive education is understood as a process to ensure participation and learning of all students regardless of differences and diversity. Special education, also known as SPED, on the other hand, is defined as classes or instruction designed for students with disabilities, giftedness, and talents regardless of environment, whether in classroom, home, or hospital. It is the technique of educating students with special needs in a way that recognizes their special peculiarities and needs. Special education is special because it has a distinct place in the education not only individuals with disabilities but also diverse learners including those who are at risk. However, special education is composed of range of teaching practices especially designed for the needs of individuals with disabilities who have special learning needs that are implemented by well-trained special education teachers not normally seen or used by untrained teachers in regular classroom. So, teachers must be skilled in handling severe disabilities, creating lesson plan based on individual abilities, and adhere dietary needs of a child. Lack of experiences can lead to a child not progressing with skills or can cause medical problems. Along with inclusive education, special education, other related concepts including mainstreaming and integration. Mainstreaming is the practice of educating students with learning challenges in regular classes in the least restrictive environment based on their skills. It is the basic goal of mainstreaming to include students with disabilities in regular classes while providing them with the same opportunities just like other students to access teaching, gaining knowledge, develop as individuals, and engage in academic and social settings that a school has to offer. To clarify, mainstreaming means students who are a part of special education classroom will join the regular education classroom to entertain to certain times which are fit for the special education student. While integration, according to Franklin 1996, refers to the creation of spaces such as regular classroom, special education classroom, or pull out services for diverse learners. Just like a students with severe disabilities should be able to participate in many general school activities such as lunch, assemblies, clubs, dances, or recess. The student should also be able to participate in selected activities in regular classes such as art, music, or computers. And the student should be able to use the same facilities as non-disabled students, including hallways, restroom, libraries, cafeterias, and gymnasium. However, UNESCO states that inclusion is the process of addressing and responding to diversity of needs of all learners through increasing participation in learning, cultures, and communities, and reducing inclusion within and from education. Participation as full members of the classroom community, including for full engagement in both academic and social environments. As a result, children with disabilities will experience positive growth in social skills, adaptive behaviors, literacy and language skills, and cognition. So, inclusion is about welcoming diversity by providing varied responses to the diverse needs of learners in the formal and informal education settings, and where every child feels safe and has sense of belongingness while studying with other children with no such condition. Additionally, the diversity of learning include those who are gifted and talented, those with difficulty seeing, hearing, communicating, walking or moving, remembering, and focusing, those with challenges with self-care. However, special education is instruction that is specifically designed to meet the unique needs of child with disabilities. Instruction conducted in the classroom, in the home, in hospitals and institution, and other settings. The specially designed instruction means adapting as appropriate to the needs of an eligibly child. But how do we incorporate our knowledge of equity, equality, and liberation to support all of our gifted and talented students? When we seek equality or equal education condition for the students in our classroom, we try to give each person the same thing, same opportunity, and every one of them were catered properly. Maybe we try to provide equal circumstances to each students by giving them the same form of an examination, or perhaps providing the opportunity to listen the same lecture, same assignments deadline, and etc. Ironically, despite of best attempts to create an equal learning environment in our classrooms, true equality does not benefit all students equally. Therefore, equality does not mean equity because every child is different. Different cultural backgrounds, socioeconomic status, confidence levels, developmental stages, motivational and expectation, and so on. Despite these known and unknown inequalities, we frequently strive to make our classroom equal, playing grounds for our students. So instead of working tirelessly for equality, we might want to focus on creating equity or equal resources to our students. In essence, equity entails providing each individuals with what they need to be successful, which may be more or less than another person. It is about fairness in every situation, and there is educational barriers that limit learners' participation. In essence, living in liberation means are no barriers. We all have access to what we need and no one is being held back, up or down. It is also important to differentiate between the terms accommodation and modification. Sometimes people get confused about what it means to have a modification and what it means to have an accommodation. Usually, a modification means change in what is being taught to or expected to learn based on their individual abilities. For example, a person with intellectual disabilities uses less complicated text materials of different content topic than their age peers. So the learning goal for an individual student change. An accommodation is a change that help a students overcome or work around the disability, allowing a student who has trouble writing to give his answer orally is an example of an accommodation. Another, sign language interpreters for students who are deaf. Last is the conclusion. So, finally, special education, also called special needs education, means an individual student require assistance in order to improve his or her performance and general quality of life. Inclusion, on the other hand, is about adapting education to ensure that everyone succeeds regardless of their individual needs. Perhaps the importance of special education cannot be overstated. Children with special needs can grow up to be productive, happy, and fully functional members of society. Inclusion is critical for developing lasting relationships, experiences, and cognitive and social abilities. Wherever possible, all children should learn together regardless of any obstacles or differences they may have. Teachers need to address how the classroom will communicate with each other and encourage participation. Also, teachers have to be able to ensure rights with both approaches by respecting the rights of every child and by making their school and classroom more inclusive. Having knowledgeable, well trained, and accredited teachers are imperial for the success of students. Nonetheless, as a future educator, we need to ensure that all students have equal access to education and have a positive discrimination to study and excel in life. In general, every child is different kind of flower, and all together make this world a beautiful garden. Thus, despite all of these differences, there is a value in simply being a flower. When in bloom, each flower is truly unique and bright. That's all for this video. I hope you understand my report and learn something from it. See you soon. Bye bye.